The usefulness of commodities to human beings, proposes utility value, and reveals various needs in human nature. Bentham's utilitarianism, marginal schools utility theory, Dewey's pragmatism. Due to significant differences in understanding industrial civilization, it has been in constant conflict since its inception, until the Cold War in the second half of the 20th century. Industrial civilization has gone through hundreds of years, and its laws have been effective in 100 years. Marx's Das Kapital, Marshall's Economics, and Keynes' general theory of employment, interest and money are classics, and indeed guide the socio-economic operation. In the mid to late 20th century, with the popularization of computers and the Internet, information civilization entered human society. The characteristic of information civilization is that the spread of social induction and information transmission is very fast, greatly changing the original production and lifestyle. For example, computers have changed traditional manufacturing technology and production processes, and the Internet has changed people's consumption and communication methods. Toffler once provided a phenomenal description of information civilization but did not touch upon the fundamental principles. The general equivalent of information civilization is information. Wherever there are many concepts, money flows there and wealth is generated. The new economy that originated in the S is a concentrated manifestation of information civilization, with NASDAQ being a representative of information civilization, and a large number of digital heroes becoming beneficiaries of information civilization. It has only been 30 years since the emergence of information civilization, during which there have been countless changes. Moreover, the philosophical foundation of information civilization is the principle of uncertainty, which makes it difficult to summarize unchanging laws. Therefore, in recent decades, it has been difficult to come up with grand works that have taken decades. From the above civilization process, it can be seen that the evolution of civilization is accelerating, from thousands, hundreds of years to decades year. Nowadays, there are many phenomena in the social economy that are different from the forms of civilization in the past, and various phenomena cannot be explained by past knowledge. The financial industry is playing an increasingly important role in some countries, surpassing the functions of any single industry. For example, the amount of tax paid by the high earners in the City of London has accounted for a quarter of the income of the whole UK, and a quarter of the UK corporate tax also comes from this region, which is generally the case for Wall Street in the United States. Once China's securities industry was launched, it developed with the thunderous momentum. In just over a decade, the stock market value increased by over 4 listing. In 80%, this situation undermines the balance between power and responsibility, thus making the political philosophy of the country the opposite of the trend. The main reason for domestic terrorist incidents to occur is the lack of national social and persona Responsibility matching refers to the contradiction and conflict of interests among the three parties being greater than harmony and consistency, and the destruction of this trinity relationship still stems from the division of interests and the imbalance between enjoying power and assuming responsibility. If national responsibility is still understood as unlimited joint and several responsibility for all actions, then as much hope as disappointment, national responsibility will be more manifested in providing and ensuring equal opportunities for individuals, and providing transfer payments to some vulnerable groups. In addition, the ability to provide normal channels and platforms for communication and exchange, so that fairness and justice can effectively play a role in handling unfair events, is also a requirement for national responsibility. Social responsibility is reflected in providing individuals with opportunities and conditions for free competition. Only on this basis can individuals have the possibility of equal competition, and only then can they not complain and hate society in the event of failure. The premise for all of this is still that the country is independent of social interests and has a responsibility for national power and borders. A clear definition of the boundary involves a fundamental issue in China's current economic structure: ownership superstition. Breaking this superstition has become the top issue in deepening reform and purifying national motivation. In the process of market-oriented reform in China, the relationship between state-owned assets and private assets does indeed reflect the trend of returning from abroad and advancing with the people. However, national retreat does not necessarily equate to democratic progress, and the weight of the two is not a trade-off in the adjustment process. In fact, the current situation is that state-owned assets are constantly strengthening and consolidating, while private assets are constantly being sacrificed and hovering on the edge. Although the 12th National Congress began to put forward common ownership as the main body and other forms of ownership as beneficial supplements, the th National Congress put forward common ownership as the main body and a variety of economic sectors developed together for a long time. The th National Congress determined common ownership as the core and non-public economy as an important part of the financial crisis has not yet bottomed out. But no one mentions currency wars anymore, as they are considered war dollars in the book The Murderous and behind-the-scenes Wall Street tycoons died before they got out, while most of the survivors sold themselves to the government, were denationalized, and even did transsexual surgery to return to the bank to survive. The expected market of painful shearing by the crisis did not happen, which made people obsessed with explaining the financial crisis with conspiracy theory very frustrated. Did investment banks die of mass suicide? Just as currency war itself is a specious rumor strung together with bizarre conspiracies, even such a book is rumored to be a copycat version because the original version comes from the United States. However, the views in the book perfectly match the needs of those who have suffered heavy losses due to misjudgment of the situation. as dressing themselves as victims of uncertainty is more likely to gain sympathy. Therefore, as soon as this book was published, it was highly sought after and appeared at high-level financial seminars, serving as a shield against pressure. However, with the passage of time, the currency war has no effect on the overall situation, and it is still not eloquent enough to be used for casual conversation after meals. The essence of the financial crisis is money surplus, but in the conspiracy theory, money can be controlled unilaterally and completely. The 6 major families behind the U.S. government and the Federal Reserve control the situation, using cunning tactics to influence currency flows and earn large amounts of money, in order to achieve their goals by killing people and de-Buddha. However, the most fatal flaw of this logic is that the government and the 6 major families do not have the control they expected. They may have controlled the currency within the banking system. Once the currency flows out, it is not only difficult to track but also repeatedly transforms into capital and hot money. What is even more terrifying is that during this process the scale of the currency continues to expand. The expansion ability continues to improve, and speculative models are extensively replicated, creating a vast amount of money, book assets or liabilities registered on the balance sheets of financial institutions are in reality dependent on the price of resources and assets. The contradiction between the leveraged expansion of monetary capital and the limitation of the price rise of assets and resources will automatically close positions under the law of value. Obviously, this is the original sin of self-expansion and self-evaporation in finance. So on the one hand, the runaway of currency falsify the possibility of a holistic and long-term monetary conspiracy. On the other hand, the automatic liquidation of currency has falsified the possibility of a century-long and shocking conspiracy. Of course, it is not ruled out future society will be people-oriented, and meeting people's various emotional needs will become the source of new business opportunities. Neil Pinker proposed in New Thinking that the 6 senses that the right brain era should possess include a sense of design, storytelling, symphony, empathy, entertainment, and exploration of meaning. And business opportunities lie in the experience of these 6 or even more emotional needs, such as doctors using laughter, yoga, entertainment to heal patients, transforming old factories into modern office spaces with a sense of design, the opening of the Cube-era empathy of high school, university, white-collar SNS social network services on the campus network will undoubtedly bring about the reconstruction of industrial boundaries, leading to the emergence of a large number of new industries and former TUS. On the other hand, whether it's the older generation who thinks with the left brain or the new generation who thinks with the right brain, in this comprehensive integration in the era of unity, whoever can represent the interests of the greatest majority will ultimately win. Deng Xiaoping adhered to the 4 cardinal principles: turning right to carry out reform, opening up and marketization, and took the middle path of giving priority to efficiency and giving consideration to fairness, so that China got rid of the ideological struggle and rose rapidly, relying on economic development. The same applies to business opportunities. Whoever can combine left brain and right brain can free from constraints and allow various elements to fuse and collide under the catalysis of creativity and imagination, so that they are no longer just looking for business opportunities, but creating them. The left and right brain connection may open up business opportunities from three aspects. One is the application of new technologies in the wave of wisdom, ecological civilization, financial civilization, etc. under the impact of various right brainization approaches. It will upgrade at a faster pace and become a carrier for generating business opportunities. Secondly, various countries may show their respective skills in seizing the commanding heights of wisdom. For example, the United States has already launched ERIC plan to study wisdom. And there are still people in China who want to build smart banks. This trend will make people pay more attention to balancing left and right, and various alternative ideas such as whether software can be downloaded and memorized in the future will bring new business opportunities and sparks. Thirdly, for most enterprises, it is difficult to achieve a left and right brain connection. So it may be the norm to be forced to upgrade the version due to being dragged by the situation. A small number of enterprises with unique thinking will unleash their creative imagination, see through changes in the situation, grasp policy trends, and quickly occupy techno